Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They won the game, and a lot of people, I think, are, prematurely writing them off. Like, I heard a lot of people say they're not even making the playoffs this year.
What I give them credit for right now, Scott, I'm not going to pencil them to win the division yet. Let's see how they do. What I give the Red Sox credit for, and this sounds like silly, I give them credit for actually trying this year.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Okay, what tools can you use to measure those things a bit? And that's where you have like force plates and 3D motion and launch monitors, things like that. But that's all just sort of like measuring what's happening. That doesn't necessarily explain why one guy's really good and another guy's not really good. And that's where there's still kind of like this ongoing, how do you like continue to do research to understand that better? And I think that's going to last well past my lifetime.
The Smiley Show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome in. This is FST. It's Fantasy Sports Today. My name is Matt Strager. His name is Joe Pisapia, and this is These Place for those that want to dominate. Whether it be season-long fantasy, DFS, straight-up wagering, we've got you covered. Joey P, come on in, the author of the Fantasy Black Book at SportsGrid TV, where everything this brilliant man says lives in a nice organized fashion, because I promise you, chaos is abound. This is the show where we talk about Sidney Ponson, Yorbit Torrealba, and Ugueth Urbina. All right, we are two guys that love baseball, and we are here for you. Joey, my man, what's up?
Yeah, we were having a random conversation about some random pitchers in the break. Sidney Ponson, not one that I've thought of in a long time. You know who could use him? Back of the Orioles. Yeah, maybe his best work was at Baltimore. They could maybe call Sidney Ponson up, see if they can get him away from craft service table for a little bit and maybe get him over to the rotation there. They could use some help in Baltimore with that. Dean Creamer? What are we doing here, Baltimore? I'm not even an Orioles fan. If I'm an Orioles fans must be losing their mind right now. You were in the playoffs last year. You had hope for the first time in 2 decades. And now this is what you're left with? Oh, it's just brutal. It's brutal. Anyway, let's get to the 3 up and 3 down. You know who's been really good? Corbin Carroll. That'll make me feel better. Let's talk about Corbin Carroll's stats. Heading into the weekend, over his last 7 games, 4 homers, 5 ribbies, a 519 OBP, a 1600 OPS, hitting over 400. Corbin Carroll has been great. Last year at this time, we were in full panic mode about Corbin Carroll. His sophomore season was dramatically worse, and it was so weird because we couldn't figure out why. He was chasing pitches up in the zone. Was it the shoulder issue again coming back? We didn't know what was going on. I don't think Corbin Carroll knew what was going on, but eventually it did turn around. It is really good to see Corbin Carroll get off to a good start, because I think a lot of us were a little shook, especially me, because I thought Corbin Carroll was a slump-proof player with the way he has quick hands and the way he would, get on base and steal bases and do his thing. But that was not the case, because he struggled for 3 whole months last year. But the last 3 months were great. How important is it for everybody to see Corbin Carroll get off to a good April, Matt?
Oh, 1,000%, because it shifts the entire market in the NL West. It shifts how you bet on these teams, and it can change a lot of things when the Diamondbacks and Dodgers play head-to-head. It might move some numbers. But looking at these numbers, 519 OBP that has to come down, the 1130 slug and the 1600 OPS just tells you the quality of balls struck. That to me is really important. You know, we had conversations about what would this team look like with Naylor in and Walker out, and right now they're looking pretty good. Who's next?
Corbin Carroll's looking good, but you know what else is looking good? Jackson Churio of the Milwaukee Brewers. He's a star already, boys and girls. They have a special one here. And if you look at the last 7 games after that terrible opening series against the Yankees where he had 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts, look at this. Last 7 games, 3 homers, hitting over 300. He's got 1179 OPS. He's driven in 12 runs over that span. Now, we talked about Milwaukee having one of the worst rotations so far, ERA-wise. That's large in part to how bad they were during that Yankee series. But Jackson Churio is the man right now. I'd love to see them get a little bit more help in this offense. So far, I think it's been a little sluggish, to say the least. And Jackson Churio is kind of carrying them. And I think for a 21-year-old kid to be carrying your offense, you need to get him a little bit of help. So hopefully at some point, the Brewers can do that. I know William Contreras was kind of slow to start a little bit, but he's picking things up right now. So I think everything is going to be okay. And I'm looking right now at the landscape of that Central. The Reds are very inconsistent. Now, Lodolo's been good. Green has been spectacular. But the inconsistency of that offense is not good. And then you look at the Cubs and that Justin Steele injury. The Brewers are right there in the thick of this division. And it's theirs to lose, in my opinion, especially if they get Woodruff back healthy, because Woodruff and Peralta at the front of that rotation changes things dramatically for them if we're getting the Brandon Woodruff of old. So Churio, fantastic. If you bought low on him after that first weekend, you done good, but that ship has clearly sailed. And Churio, probably one of the, top 5, top 6 players in any dynasty startup draft, would you say?
Yep, I think that's an accurate assessment. And just overall, we were talking about how good we think Milwaukee can be. And I think Milwaukee, much like a team like the Braves, they're going to play to the back of their collective baseball card, if you will. Brewers are going to be there at the end. All right, let's move to some pitching now, and let's talk about the New York Yankees.
Thank goodness the Yankees signed Max Fried, because the rest of their rotation has been bad. Max Fried, look at this. Last couple games here for him in the last week. 2 wins. He has got 17 strikeouts and 1 walk, an ERA of 0.71, a whip of 0.95 over 12 2/3 innings. He's been brilliant. Now, Carlos Rodon has an important start today. Weather should be a little bit better in Yankee Stadium than it's been the last 2 days, but Rodon has been shaky. Luis Gil has been MIA. Clark Schmidt's on his way back. Will Warren's been okay, as I mentioned, as one of our sleepers going into the year. Like, you might want to pick up some Will Warren shares, because that guy's going to make some starts, and he's got an opportunity to get some W's on the Yankees, but they need more than just Max Fried if they're going to hang in this division. This is a very competitive division. Garrett Cole's going to be out for the year. So Max Fried has been great. He has stepped into that void, but it's not enough. You need somebody else to join him up there, and hopefully it's Carlos Rodon. If it's not, and he doesn't figure things out soon, the Yankees could be in a little bit of trouble as the season drags on.
Yep, I agree. And if you're just joining us, FST with Matt and Joe, we broke at the top of the hour with the news of Shane Baz being scratched from his start for the Tampa Rays. And it brings us to a bigger question, because this next pitcher we're going to talk about has really been doing some special things. And the Rays overall, I think, always do special things. And when someone is so ballooned, talking about a 10-year 10 ERA, something's up.
Yeah, something's up. Zach Littell should not be in this rotation. The only reason he still is because he's out of options. And I think the Rays are out of options with him, if you know what I'm saying. Look at this. The last couple games here for him, we've got 2 starts. His ERA is at 9.82. The whip at 1.55 over 11 innings. He's given up 12 earned runs. It's done. It's done. He shouldn't be there. Now, who's going to bounce him? I don't know. Boyle was brought up today. Baz got bumped till tomorrow. So nobody's quite sure exactly why. Is Littell getting bounced? Is it some sort of technical thing? I don't know. None of us know. We just got this news. But I will say Littell is not long for this rotation. So he's going to get replaced. And the rest of his rotation, Pepio's been really good. Baz has been fantastic. If Shane McClanahan can come back healthy, guess what? The Rays are going to be right back in this thing. They desperately need some more help for Junior Caminero in that lineup, but I feel like a broken record talking about that. Also down this week, a few other guys with the bats to talk about. Wilson Contreras, he's a buy. He's playing every day at first base, but he qualifies at catcher. That transition probably a little different for him, but he's hitting a .154 over his last 26 at bats. I would be buying him. And then Jazz Chisholm, who got off to a red hot start, has proven that even torpedo bats can't help you if you don't make contact with the baseball. Jazz Chisholm, if you look at his last couple games here going into this weekend's action. Just 2 hits in his last 26 at-bats and 11 strikeouts, Matt. That's far too many for Jazz Chisholm, hitting .077 over that span. So who is a more intriguing buy low for you? Jazz Chisholm, who's going to cost you more, or William Contreras, who qualifies a catcher, who will probably cost you a lot less?
Well, I like Contreras as my dog just busted in with excitement. The reason being is because of protection in the lineup. Arenado is currently enjoying a hit streak, and as Brendan Donovan goes and the protection in the lineup, Contreras goes. And it's not just because I'm a Cardinal fan, but I think Chisholm definitely has his place, and people should be aware of the fact that he plays on a far more public team. So you're going to have that with which to contend, Joe.
Yeah. And if you want Jazz Chisholm, you're going to have to still pay for him. I don't think you can get him too cheap, but it has been a rough start for him. Luis Robert, another guy too. We're going to talk about buy and sell in the latter part of this hour as well. Some trades that might be on the table for you to start making, but it's real easy. You just look at some of the guys who are up at the top of that OPS chart who don't belong there, and you say, okay, I got to start unloading some of those players, and vice versa. Who are some of the guys at the bottom of the OPS chart and saying they don't belong there either? I'm going to go get them because things are coming around. And I know why Matt's dog is busting in the room, because we come back, we're going to talk about 2-star pitchers, and he is desperate to find some streamers in his lineup this week. So sit down, grab a coffee, grab a bone if you're a dog, and we're going to review those 2-star pitchers that should, maybe shouldn't be in your lineup this week in Major League Baseball. Don't go anywhere. More FST is coming at you right after this, the place for wall-to-wall fantasy baseball.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They won the game, and a lot of people, I think, are, prematurely writing them off. Like, I heard a lot of people say they're not even making the playoffs this year.
What I give them credit for right now, Scott, I'm not going to pencil them to win the division yet. Let's see how they do. What I give the Red Sox credit for, and this sounds like silly, I give them credit for actually trying this year.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Okay, what tools can you use to measure those things a bit? And that's where you have like force plates and 3D motion and launch monitors, things like that. But that's all just sort of like measuring what's happening. That doesn't necessarily explain why one guy's really good and another guy's not really good. And that's where there's still kind of like this ongoing, how do you like continue to do research to understand that better? And I think that's going to last well past my lifetime.
The Smiley Show.
Welcome back into FST Fantasy Sports Today. My name's Matt. His name is Joe. Sam Y, the sports guy, is behind the glass along with TD Jake, or at least I think they are. They could be sleeping as well. But either way, this is the show that makes it go. Joey P, it's time for 2-start pitchers now, and as the season drags on, it's going to become more and more valuable. Right away, let's go to the Mets, a guy that you don't think may be long for the rotation, but he's pitching to a sub-1 ERA, and it's Tyler McGill. He's at Bailey Over, so at Minnesota, and then home to Eric Fede and the Cardinals. Go ahead.
No, you got to throw him in here, right? I mean, I'm so excited. I can't even wait. I 14 innings for him, 11 hits, 17 strikeouts, 7 walks, 2-to-1 strikeout walk ratio. The whip is at 1.26. The ERA is at 0.63. Now that's going to come back around, but are the Twins a terrifying offense? I don't think so. Not necessarily. And St. Louis, look, whoever you're going against St. Louis, you have a chance to come out with a W, right, at this point, because that rotation's been so bad. The bullpen's not great. And now they're moving to a 6-man rotation there, too. And St. Louis is like, why? It wasn't bad enough. Now we got to get another jabroni in this rotation who's no good. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing over there, Matt. I hope they figure it out sooner than later. But they got to. But Tyler McGill right now is absolutely a guy that I would start in these two starts and take my shot. Take a shot with the Mets offense against these two pitchers, against these two teams. Bailey Ober is good. There's every possibility that, it becomes a pitcher's duel, or maybe McGill's ERA finally catches up with him a little bit. But I'll play the law of averages here, and I'll take the Mets offense with McGill in these two starts, especially against the Cardinals in that second one. I like that one a lot. So even if I come out, kind of unbruised in that first one against Minnesota, I'm going to start him and take your starts when you can get him, because I think McGill's probably going to be bounced from this rotation. I don't think it's Canning. I could be wrong. We'll see. It's going to be one of those two, most likely, when Maya comes back, but that's still a few weeks away. Matt, what do you think about Tyler McGill this week? Are you starting him against the Twins and the Cardinals?
Yeah, the back end of the bundle is so enticing that I'm willing to walk through a few punches, like you said, facing the Twins. All right, let's move on, because in this one, I feel differently. It's Jameson Taillon for the Cubs. He's at Dylan Cease, so that's at San Diego, and then he's home to Merrill Kelly and the Diamondbacks. Previous segment, we talked about how hot Corbin Carroll is. San Diego, not really a hitter's park per se. I like Dylan Cease. I like Merrill Kelly, man. You can keep Jameson Taillon for those two.
Yeah, Jameson Taillon has a 6 ERA right now. I'm not throwing him out there against the Padres. It seems like Tatis is healthy. He had a home run on Friday and a home run on Saturday. So despite my heart being in my throat after that swing that he took where he hurt his shoulder again, his surgically repaired shoulder, and I thought, here we go again. He seems okay, at least for now. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be comfortable for the next 5 months watching Fernando Tatis because of that moment. But Merrill Kelly hasn't been good either, but that Arizona lineup is really good. The Padre lineup really good, and Dylan Cease on the other end. It's a hard no for me. I'm passing on Taillon. And if you can't start a guy in a 2-week start week and he's 70% rostered right now, drop him to the waiver wire. Pick up somebody else. Go pick up a Zebby Matthews, a Logan Henderson, a Nick Kurtz, somebody else that can help you in the future, because what are you keeping this guy on your roster for? If you can't start him in a 2-start week, he is useless to you. Move on. Find another asset that could be more useful, at least in a trade. If not, maybe in the next couple of weeks if somebody gets called out.
All right, as if his blood pressure wasn't high enough, let's talk about the Baltimore Orioles pitching staff now, albeit it's Jelly Roll, Charlie Morton. All my Jazz fans are loving the nickname on that one. He's got Logan Allen and Nick Martinez, respectively, both of them at home. I mean, gosh, Morton needs this. The O's need this, but as fantasy managers, do we need Charlie Morton?
No. He has an ERA of 8.78 and a whip at 1.88 currently. I know Cleveland is, Kwan is great. Ramirez is really good. Manzardo's good. The rest of that lineup is a little questionable. But no, you can't do this to yourself. So once again, why is he rostered in even 57% of leagues right now? I don't know. Charlie Morton is a hard drop for me. He's 41 years old. He is closer to a colonoscopy than he is closer to pulling that ERA under 3. That's where he is at 41 years old. And that's safe. And I want everybody out there to know these are the things as you get older, you're going to have to do. You got to check your blood pressure. You got to do all these things to make sure you're healthy. But that's the truth. That's where we are in this whole thing. Him and Justin Verlander should go make some appointments there and stop pitching. It's just right off into the sunset. It's over.
Folks, hear my words. If Joe talks about this next pitcher's prostate, I don't think I'll be here on the other side of the break.
Well, is it Scherzer?
Taijuan Walker for the Phillies. No, it's not. That's Scherzer, but we can do a segment on Scherzer if you'd like. Taijuan Walker for the Phillies has Landon Rope and the Giants come to town. And in Miami, it's going to be you. You are going to be pitching at Veterans. Not Veterans anymore. What is it now? Lincoln Financial, Citizens Bank for the. So Taijuan Walker, would you start him?
How old is Taijuan Walker too? Just out of curiosity, because he can't be. He's been around for a while. You know, it's amazing. He's been around 12 years. He's only 32 years old. Look at that's crazy.
32.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's that.
So
I feel like Taiwan Walker's been around forever, but he just came up so young. Look, I don't love this. San Fran's been really good. The Miami start is very tempting, but I think I'm a pass on this one. I understand the temptation of it, Matt, but I think it's a no for me, dog. Taiwan Walker, I just don't trust him at this stage. And I know he's been okay. Like I know that over 2 starts, 10 innings, got 9 strikeouts, 4 walks. He hasn't given up an earned run yet, but I don't know. San Francisco's been really solid. I'm trying to give San Fran credit. San Fran's been really solid. Roop, probably the easiest one to go out there and beat of some of the guys in this rotation. But where are you at, Matt? Would you roll the dice with Taiwan Walker and the Phillies?
It depends on where you are and what you need. But I think the overall conversation, so I guess, yes, the back end of the bundle against Miami would be intriguing enough, the same way we were talking about it with Tyler McGill. But overall, I think there are more throwers in the league than there are pitchers. And we're making all these old man jokes, but you find that the older guys are pitchers and the younger guys are throwers. Having a nice balance on your fantasy team is one thing. But from a wagering perspective, wager on those accordingly. Think about it. Maybe it's total outs for the pitchers and maybe it's K props for the throwers. Just different things to think about when you have a lot of these older pitchers. Joking around about it, Joe.
Yeah, Verlander 42, Charlie Morton 41, Max Scherzer 40. So there you go. Those are all the and look, they're Hall of Famers, 2 of those guys. Verlander's a Hall of Famer, Scherzer's a Hall of Famer. But if you look at the Verlander ERA right now, over 6, it's not been good. Scherzer can't even get through a start. It's time. It's time to move on and enjoy all the money and all the fame in the Hall. We'll be right back after this.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They won the game, and a lot of people, I think, are, prematurely writing them off. Like, I heard a lot of people say they're not even making the playoffs this year.
What I give them credit for right now, Scott, I'm not going to pencil them to win the division yet. Let's see how they do. What I give the Red Sox credit for, and this sounds like silly, I give them credit for actually trying this year.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Okay, what tools can you use to measure those things a bit? And that's where you have like force plates and 3D motion and launch monitors, things like that. But that's all just sort of like measuring what's happening. That doesn't necessarily explain why one guy's really good and another guy's not really good. And that's where there's still kind of like this ongoing, how do you like continue to do research to understand that better? And I think that's going to last well past my lifetime.
The Smiley Show.
Oh, welcome back into FST Fantasy Sports Today, where the promise of pizza and drink is abound. Our producer, Sam Y, the sports guy, just offered to buy Joe and I a wonderful pizza and beverages. And I think all of you out there at SportsGrid, at SportsGrid TV, hit up Sam Y, the sports guy. Try to get in on this free pizza thing. It's a lot of fun. All right, so in order to get us all this pizza, Sam is going to have to drop some players. So let's talk about the most terrible segue, by the way. Let's talk about the most dropped players currently. And Joe, all kidding aside, smiles run away from our faces here. We're going to talk about this Met third baseman. And this name has come up quite a bit for you and I. We talked about it in the offseason when we had some potential Met free agent moves. But when is it going to be time to cut bait on Brett Baty? Hey, look at that.
Now. The time is now, because Brett Baty did have a good spring, and Brett Baty was trying to do everything he could for the club, playing some second base, and Luis Angel Acuna was splitting time with him. But Jeff McNeil is on his rehab assignment. My guess is after this weekend, he'll probably be back with the club, and that means somebody has to get sent down, and I'm pretty sure that person is going to be Brett Baty. I don't think Brett Baty's done as a player. I think Brett Baty's actually a pretty decent player. He needs to be left alone every day at third base somewhere else. And my guess is he will be part of a trade going somewhere at some point this year, because there's just no spot for him currently. So I don't think he's part of the future plans. I think they value a piece like Ronnie Mauricio way more than a Brett Baty necessarily, a Drew Gilbert. There's some of these other prospects that they just have, I think, higher anticipation for. And Brett Baty might be a quad A player at this point, but if you go back and look at last year at AAA, he was a pretty good season too. He's got a good hit tool. He's a pretty decent defender. I wouldn't say he's off the charts good, but I wouldn't say he's the worst defender either. But you have to drop him now. And if you're trying to hold on still when he's in a platoon, it's just stupid, because that platoon might go away. I don't think Acuna is going anywhere. He is the superior second base defender of any of the guys that we're talking about, those three. But my fear is McNeil comes back, Baty gets sent down. That's the most logical thing to me, too. You're going to see Francisco Alvarez come back. Another guy, too, that was dropped in a lot of spots and should be actually currently the most dropped player on CBS is Jordan Romano. And if you recall, we've been talking about Jose Alvarado, and we're going to talk about him again. How, look, this is it. Jose Alvarado is the closer. It is not Jordan Romano, and he is back into low leverage situations. So you can absolutely drop him as well.
All right, a nice little bonus ad there. Let's give him one more, and let's go out to Cincinnati. And I can remember there was a period of time where everyone was awaiting this call-up with bated breath. Imagine what it's going to be like when Christian Encarnacion Strand joins Ellie De La Cruz and joins Matt McClain. Well, CES just can't seem to find it. What's the deal?
I had real concerns about Christian Encarnacion Strand as a prospect. And what I voiced to a lot of people was this, and I was in the minority. Everybody loved this kid, and I know he had some big AAA stats. But what I kept saying was he has a very big hitch in his swing, which means that he brings his hands down and up before he comes through the baseball. Now, that's something you can get away with if you're Prince Fielder or Mark McGwire. But if you're Christian Encarnacion Strand, you can't get away with that. Not at the big league level. You're going to be slow on some of these pitches. You're going to be struggling against the better pitchers in Major League Baseball. And sure enough, that's what he's done. He's another guy that you can absolutely drop. When Matt McClain comes back from his IL stint, somebody's got to go. I don't know who it's going to be. It could be Noelvi Marte again, but I think Marte is the guy that you want to play more and see what he is, because I think Encarnacion Strand, to me, is just not the guy. He's in a $163 right now at 49 at-bats, so it hasn't been good. He's got a couple homers, but he's got 12 strikeouts in 13 games, so he's striking out once a game. He's not a very productive player outside the 2 home runs. Outside of those 2 home runs, just 3 RBI, so really has not done much at all. So that's a big problem. And if you ask me which asset I'd rather have going forward, Baty or Christian Encarnacion Strand, I think I'd rather have Baty. I see a path where Baty becomes a nice everyday third baseman for, you dropped him in the White Sox right now, right? Or, the Marlins. He's a nice everyday player, Brett Baty, who could probably hit 280, hit you 15 home runs, and be a 75-75 kind of guy. I don't see that kind of consistency from CES.
Listen, if you can change the approach, you talked about the hitch and the swing, moving the hands anywhere except towards the ball, turning the knob towards the ball, the bat, you eliminate that hitch and Encarnacion Strand swing, and I like the tool much better than for Baty, and has nothing to do with my disdain for the Mets. It's that you can fix one tiny thing and bring the hands through the zone. And Sam Why, the sports guy, our producer, who's a catcher, he understands the game. Look, if you're going to bet on players and you're going to roster players, just take a chance and watch them. Even pull them up on the YouTube, I would like to say, and really look at their swing and see if you like it. Passes the eye test. With Strand, there's one little fix there, so I'd much rather have him, Joe.
I know, but the fact that he hasn't made that switch yet with all these struggles concerns me.
Someone will get him to bring his hands to the ball.
Maybe you're right, and maybe he will, but we'll find out. This is why when you have those prospects, sometimes you got to evaluate them and trade them for proven assets in your dynasty leagues. We come back, more guys to buy and sell when we come back.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of thoughts.
15.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than game time decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back into FST Fantasy Sports today. Matt Stryker and Joe Pisapia with you here, giving you everything you need in order to dominate. And it all lives nicely organized at SportsGrid and at SportsGrid TV. Those are social media handles. Do yourself a favor, make sure you're following along. All right, it's this time of the show where TD Jake takes over behind the glass as the producer on the ones and twos. It means anything can happen. It's time to do the buy low, sell high. And Joe, each and every week we examine the players that we should, as it says, buy low and sell high, but more importantly, why? Now, let's go to a buy low candidate here for the Texas Rangers, and this is a player I've been off for just quite some time, but you say now's the time to buy low. Talk to me why.
Well, the stock has hit rock bottom, and although he's a player that is now 34 years old, Marcus Semien is still a pretty good hitter, still hits at the top of this Rangers outfit here. And you look at the BABIP is at 136, the batting average is at 123 currently, and that's not going to stay. So at some point, that batting average is going to go up 100 points, which means there's a hot streak coming here from Marcus Semien. Marcus Semien still has power. He's still got some speed. It's still a good lineup collectively outside of Corey Seager starting to get hot. Somehow the Rangers have found themselves to the top of this division still, despite the fact that the offense has been lackluster, to say the least. So I'm looking at Marcus Semien as a buy. Second base is also a tough spot here. You see him, start to struggle with some of these at-bats, but I think you look at the overall numbers and you say, at some point, he's got to turn things around. He's too good of a player, and he's been good for so long. And if you start to look back at what he's done, even last year, which was kind of a down year, 23 homers, 74 RBI, it's still pretty good. Now, the stolen bases have kind of, gone away a little bit too. It's declined from 25 to 14 to 8, but he could still pop probably 10 this year if things break right for him. I'm just looking at Marcus Semien saying it's been too bad for too long. He's too good of a player. I would be acquiring him, and I'm sure people are frustrated, and maybe they're wondering, oh no, did I get the year where Marcus Semien, that I drafted him where the wheels come off? I don't think we're anything close to that yet. Is he striking out a little bit more than you like? Sure. But the 3-year average of this player is a 25-85 guy, and I think you still would take that to the bank, and I think it's still worth acquiring. And the good news is he is truly a buy low, because that batting average can't get much worse.
Yeah. Yep, that's a good point. All right, let's actually stay in Texas on a player for whom I advocated, mainly on position eligibility, but also being a part of this Texas offensive ecosystem. It's Jake Berger. What do you make of it?
Jake Berger, another one too. Like I said, this organization somehow finding ways. Josh Young hitting, but Jock Peterson's not. Odolis Garcia's not. Simeon's not, and Jake Berger isn't. So I'm not exactly sure here what's going on with Jake Berger. He's getting dropped in a lot of leagues too, which I think is a little premature. His batting average is at 140. The BABIP is at 143. He is not a player with a 280 slugging percentage, okay? Just for perspective, last year that number was 460. The year before was 518. So Jake Berger is going to hit some home runs. Jake Berger is going to get hot, and I think it's going to be fine. I don't know if it's just the move to Texas and figuring things out and getting comfortable, but whatever it is, it hasn't worked so far for Jake Berger. But history tells us this guy's going to hit for some power. Things are going to rebound. And once again, if I'm looking for a guy who's got 25 to 30 home runs in this tank that he hasn't unloaded any of them really yet, it's Jake Berger. So collectively, Simeon, Berger, maybe even Garcia, Texas Rangers right now are in a good spot to buy because that offense just has not gotten going so far this year. But I expect both those guys to turn it around. I'd rather have Simeon, but Berger is a guy that people are just dropping to the waiver wire in shallow leagues. So if somebody has, you can just pick him up. And if not, see if you can get him as a throw-in in a deal potentially, because I think he could really be useful, especially because he does qualify first and third in most leagues. And that's very helpful as the season goes on. More injuries eventually befall all of our rosters.
Yeah, we're assessing value here on FST, Fantasy Sports Today. Matt Stryker and Joe Pisapia. Buy low, sell high. It's time to turn now to the sell high, taking advantage of players playing above the back of their baseball card, or so Joe would say. And this one here might be a bit controversial here. You have a sell high on Cedric Mullins, who, as I see it right now, is one of the top players in Yahoo leagues across the board. You think there isn't much left here?
Well, I think you've seen the best you could possibly get out of him. He's in 295 last year. All right. He hasn't sniffed 290 since 2021. Last year, 234. The year before that, 233. He has shown you he's pretty much a 233 hitter right now. His BABIP is well over 300 currently. The ISO is at 295. There's a lot of things right now that if you're looking at him, you're saying, okay, things don't feel really quite right. Now, the good news is his walk rate has risen. So clearly there's some good work going on with Cedric Mullins here. So that's a positive. But I'm looking for that batting average to drop well out of this 295 range. And it already has, because going into the week, it was a 313, and now it's a 295 today. Okay. So at some point, it's going to continue to decline and regress, and most likely to that 233 bit. So is he a player with some pop and some speed? Sure. I'm not looking to get rid of him for nothing. But if you are talking about the peak of a player, these first few weeks of Cedric Mullins, Matt, could be the best stretch you're going to get out of him all year. And if you can flip him in a deal, let's say for a Luis Robert, I'd be willing to take that gamble all day long.
While I do understand your point about regression, let me offer this. The higher his point goes, then maybe he regresses to a 250 instead of a 235. And to me, that's a big difference. But I'm still not ready. I'm still not there. And that's why we have these conversations. You know what I mean? It's still very early in the season.
And it's possible, but the fact that he had 2 seasons, right, 116 games and 147 games where that batting average was at 233, I think that's a hard sell for me. But we were talking about before trying to, figure out different trades and things like that. If I gave you Clay Holmes and Cedric Mullins for Luis Robert, is that an overpay? What side of that deal do you want to be on?
Okay. An overpay because, I can go into the why, but I hear what you're saying. But overall, I'm not there yet. With the time that we have left, though, let's have an even broader conversation. And I'm hopeful for everyone. At Joe Pisapia 17, that's his social media handle, at SportsGrid and at SportsGrid TV. Keep this conversation going. Joe says that Corbin Burnes is a sell high. Joe says that the best you're going to get out of Corbin Burnes is right here and right now. Now, to me, if you're a Corbin Burnes manager, you consider draft capital on Corbin Burnes. Don't know if you're ready to sell him, but Joe, the floor is yours, my man.
Well, I think where people are going to say is screaming at me is, what do you mean sell high? The guy's got an ERA of 5. Well, he's still got the name brand value of Corbin Burnes. And I think that's what you're trying to sell off of. So far right now, the ERA is at 5.28. His expected ERA is 5.73. His fielder independent pitching, the FIP that we like to look at too, that gives us a good idea of what a pitcher's really doing, is 5.86. So the numbers are not good for him. Also, that walk rate has ballooned from 2.22 last year to 5.28. His strikeout rate has gone down 4 years in a row. In 2021, is at 12. Then it was at 10 in 2022. 2023 was at 9.29, then 8.3, and now it's at 8.22. Now, Corbin Burnes has a lot of miles here on him. He's had 3 straight years of 190 innings pitch. He is a workhorse. We love Corbin Burnes. We respect Corbin Burnes. But I have concern about him going back to last year where he did not look like the same pitcher at the second half of 2024. And maybe the Orioles thought the same thing. Now, they still screwed up by not bringing in somebody else to replace him or moving some of the other assets they had to bring in a Garrett Crochet or somebody to help. But Corbin Burnes is troubling right now because none of these underlying metrics are good for him. All of them are screaming downturn. So I don't know if it's injury. I don't know if it's wear and tear. Maybe it's just a slow start. Well, whatever it is, Corbin Burnes still carries a lot of weight where he could be a potential huge buy low for somebody else, but maybe a sell high for everybody who's really digging into these numbers and saying, maybe, just maybe, Corbin Burnes is kind of going in a weird direction. Matt, I think one thing is for sure. He is not the dominant guy that we saw in Milwaukee a couple years ago where he had, that 60 strikeouts and 1 walk at one point. Remember that stretch? That guy hasn't been around in quite some time.
The resale value of this vehicle, Joe is right, is because of the name brand, and it's right there. So the next owner of this vehicle is going to get a good service out of this vehicle, but not what its intention was. And if you want a real metric, look at that XFIP. That's going to tell you everything. Joe, you're right.
Yeah, the deeper metrics just aren't great. Zach Gallen's been up and down too. So look, I'm not saying Corbin Burnes can't turn it around, but these first few starts have been shaky. I was hoping to see something a little bit better yesterday. And it was kind of more of the same, which is he's just been okay. And if Corbin Burnes can give you, like I said, some other pitcher coming back, if you can get a boatload of players here and cash in Corbin Burnes, I'm kicking the tires on some of those deals. When we come back, don't go anywhere. FST's picks of the week from the waiver wire coming at you.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Pages.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back into FST Fantasy Sports Today. My name is Matt Stryker. His name is Joe Pisapia. This is the spot. If you want to dominate season-long fantasy, we've got you covered. DFS, straight-up wagering, whatever it is, we're here for you. It's time to dive into the waiver wire, and while this is a season-long fantasy-centric discussion, it can still inform our other bets. And let's go to Philadelphia, where the casual fan may not realize it, but Jordan Romano's not the closer there. Shouldn't be, won't be. He's now moved to low-leverage situations, as Joe pointed out earlier in the show. But who is the closer, and how available could he be? Well, in 4 out of 10 leagues, this name is available. Joe, who's it going to be?
it's absurd that Jose Alvarado is still available in this many leagues. And even through the weekend, it's gone up to 70%. So that's good. So this is more like, look, we know he's probably gone in your league. I get that. But if for some reason he's still floating out there at 30% of them, please go roster him. I feel like a broken record. He's been on this list for 2 weeks. So you got to roster Alvarado. He is the guy right now. And what a start he has had to the season, too. 13 strikeouts in 7 innings, 2 walks. The ERA is at 1. The whip is at 1. Great start for Alvarado.
All right, we continue on the waiver wire, and the point of this segment is to give you players that are going to actually be available on your wire. So we're going to try to stick to guys that are available in at least 5 out of 10 leagues, and these next 3 players are. 2 of them are from an offensive ecosystem that some people question, but in isolation, depending on how your league is scored, these 2 players could really help. We'll start with an outfielder to the Colorado Rockies. We go. If you want exit velocity, if you want the listen test of the ball jumping off the bat, well, Zach Veen has all of that. But if strikeouts are going to hurt you, Joe, I'm not so certain. He's available in 5 out of 10 leagues. What do you say?
Yeah, Zach Veen, we talked about at the top of the show, exciting prospect. He's going to have some home runs. He's going to have some stolen bases, so the wheels are there. But you can't steal first. So if you keep striking out, you don't get on base, that's going to be a problem. So Zach Veen is a guy that's going to be rostered probably at the end of Monday's waiver wire run, more like in the 70s, I would imagine. And that feels about right to me. You know, those more shallow leagues, people might be a little reticent to go running to the waiver wire for him. But half your games in Colorado is a good thing. He's an aggressive player. Sometimes that's the best part of Zach Veen. Sometimes that's the undoing of Zach Veen. We'll see which one he gets. My guess is he will have a good run somewhere. But my other guess is at some point major league pitchers are going to adjust to him and he's going to struggle maybe at times to bounce back. So Veen is going to be a roller coaster. It could be a good time. So you might want to get on board if you need some help in the outfield. Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle here with him. Once again, half your games in Colorado, good matchups, good spots here. You could watch Zach Veen get out there. He's got the fun hair. He's got the fun personality. He's exciting. But again, the strikeouts can be a bit of an issue. So in points leagues where you get negatives for that, keep that in mind. Also, you know, sometimes the batting average might struggle a little bit too, but got off to a great start in AAA. That's encouraging. He's in the big leagues. He's going to bring an energy to this club that desperately needs it. Outside of Brenton Doyle and Tovar, there's not been a lot to really get excited about in Colorado, but he's not the only Rocky we're going to talk about today. Spoiler alert, Matt. Spoiler.
Good setup. Yes, we stay in Colorado, and I think everyone should understand that Chase DeLauter is on the Cleveland Guardians. Chase Dolander is a pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. A lot of times people just look. They don't truly see the names. I've seen this go with Luis L. Ortiz and Luis Ortiz. But yeah, we're talking Chase DeLauter, starting pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. He's available in about 6 out of 10 leagues. I know a lot of people don't want to roster Rockies starting pitchers. They can't all be Mike Hampton. But talk to me about Chase DeLauter.
DeLander's a really good pitching prospect. And if he wasn't in Colorado, I think everybody would be way more excited about him. So far, over 2 starts, 10 innings, 10 hits, 13 strikeouts, 3 walks. All that looks good. The whip is at 1.22. The ERA is at 5. He did not get any support on Saturday. He went 5 2/3 innings. There's positives to take away, though. 10 whiffs. He punched out 7 in that start. The problem is the 2 ones that he gave up, the 2 big home runs, that kind of was the undoing of him. So that's what pitching in Colorado is all about. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't start him on the road. And there might be some moments where you look at DeLauter and say, okay, we've got 2 good starts this week. Or maybe a spot start matchup on the road that you like against a team like the Marlins or against a team that might be struggling offensively. So Chase DeLauter is more of a pick your spots addition. He is still available in 50% of leagues. Would I rather run out Chase DeLauter or Charlie Morton? I'd rather run out Chase DeLauter. That's where I'm at right now. I mean, we got to cut these guys that just aren't getting done. They're just not. So DeLauter has far more upside. You're going to have to, eat some starts at Colorado. Is he a season-long guy? That I don't know about in Roto leagues quite yet. But I think in head-to-head formats, whether it's Roto or points, DeLauter can be useful.
All right, let's move on now to the American League West and talk about the Angels. We have a second baseman that's available in about half of your leagues. And with Mike Trout playing so well, I think anyone in this Angels lineup could be intriguing. I'm not talking about Johnny Ray. I'm talking about Kyron Paris.
Yeah, here's an amazing jump for you. So Kyron Paris was at 52% rostered going into Friday. By now, he's almost up to 80. So the time is ticking away. The people that were skeptical they're buying in because at some point everyone's just got to buy in just to see what's going on. My whole thing, just going back in case you missed it at the top of the show, was Kyron Paris has done everything he can to put himself in a situation to be more successful, and he has done that, and I think we should applaud that. He has worked hard on his physicality. He is much stronger. He's worked on his swing. But at the same time, you're talking about a guy whose numbers right now are completely unsustainable. I mean, off the chart unsustainable. He is not going to hit 400. He's not going to have an OBP of 500. He is not going to have a slugging of 900 or an OPS in the 1600s. It's just not going to happen. So at some point, things are going to naturally regress. Where they land is what's intriguing. He is a guy that does not hit for power in the minor leagues. He is an athlete. He's got stolen base potential. The hit tool has not been great, and it's a big sample size. There's not a lot of guys typically that go from minor league kind of mid players to good major leaguers. The one instance that I can give you where a guy really changed his swing and changed his productivity was Whit Merrifield. Whit Merrifield was a mid-level minor leaguer who made some adjustments to his swing and became a real asset. So the upside for Kyron Paris is to become the new Whit Merrifield, who for a couple of years there was a very useful fantasy player. That would be amazing. I don't know if he's going to get there, but this run is interesting at the very least. It's going to come to a halt. When guys start giving him that breaking stuff away, I think he's going to struggle. So the book's going to be out on this kid, unfortunately. So watch how he adjusts back, because there's no doubt the league is going to adjust to Kyron Paris. When we come back, the 3 and Out on FST. We'll be right back after this.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino, but playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour, but online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back into FST Fantasy Sports Today. Matt and Joe with you here, and just want to take a quick second on behalf of our entire SportsGrid family. Want to wish all that observe a Zisen Pesach, or a happy Passover. Joe, it's a festive time of year. Spring is here. Easter will be upon us. WrestleMania will be upon us. Yes, it gets yoked into Passover and Easter. WrestleMania does, but also NFL draft coming up. And we're going to be looking at that in the shows coming up. But what are you looking forward to this week with regards to baseball?
Well, now that Vlad Guerrero Jr. has signed that massive contract, I want him to get going a little bit. It's time for some home runs, Vladdy. something to put up. And then Santander's kind of struggled too. He's another interesting buy low. He's got games coming up next week, though, against the Orioles, everybody. So there you go. Get excited about that. But yeah, look, Vlad is a tremendous player. He is now going to officially be the franchise and spend, we assume, most of his career, if not all of it now with the Blue Jays. So that's great. You like to see that. That's kind of a throwback in Major League Baseball. It doesn't happen very often. So good for Vlad. Is he a $500 million player? I don't know. I mean, who's to say nowadays? All I can tell you is that Bryce Harper is looking at some of this money going, really? Maybe it's time to renegotiate, but he's not going to be able to do that. Spencer Strider getting a return date. That is very important, too, because it could be as early as Wednesday when he returns. He had a rehab start this week. All the metrics from it were spectacular. He looks back. The velocity was good. 13 strikeouts and just 5 and change for him. So Spencer Strider looks like he is ready. Ronald Acuna also, important notes here. He was supposed to meet about lateral movement this week. The end of that meeting could result in him actually ending up going on rehab assignment to play the outfield and start to work in the outfield a little bit. And if that happens, sooner than later, you're going to get Ronald Acuna back. So the Braves, tough start to the season for them offensively. They get Ronald Acuna back in, second week of May. You get Spencer Strider back next week. All of a sudden, the Braves are going to look a lot more like the Braves by the time we get to June. And I think all of those things are very important. Also important, too, as a note, I know we touched on Brandon Woodruff a couple of times in this show. He had 5 strikeouts, gave up 2 runs and 3 2/3 innings Saturday in a minor league rehab start for AAA. So he was up to 95 miles an hour. That's very good. I would imagine he probably makes one more start. So if he made a start on Saturday, you're looking at probably somewhere around Thursday or Friday next week, depending on the AAA schedule. And Matt, that would possibly put him in line to rejoin that rotation after the Easter holiday, probably somewhere around the 23rd of April. That's really good news for rotation in Milwaukee. They could really use some help right now.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and if you're just joining the show, Joe's usually really ahead of the curve, what he means to that staff, and as the weather starts to warm around the country, how that team is going to perform. Keep an eye on the fact that the book won't catch up for sometimes it's a couple of days. And if you can find those good numbers, as they start to get hot, they start to find out where their pitching matchup lies. If their 3 is facing another team's 5, I mean, my gosh, you could just take so many opportunities. Joe?
Here's a question for you, too. Shohei Ohtani just had another bullpen session. It was the 3rd one. Yeah. Everything went well. We're in the weird situation of we don't always have a guy who is the best hitter on your team who at some point doesn't have to make a rehab start or two. Like, how does this work with Ohtani's return? We are in uncharted waters, as they say far too often. But in this circumstance, we kind of are. So how do you think the Dodgers handle this? Do we just do simulated games for him on the side before he pitches in a major league game? Because you can't send him down. You need his bat every day in the lineup, right? So how do you work this Shohei Ohtani return if you're the Dodgers?
It's a fantastic question. The most logical approach would be on an off day to have him pitch some kind of sim game within the area that he is. You can also have him face high-level college teams. It's really not the same. But I think Ohtani's unique, and I think Ohtani understands, and the team will get together. Side sessions, yeah, but just finding something local on an off day to simulate what it might be. And I don't think what do you think he's going to get in his first start? Let's handicap that right there. You think he's getting a quality start? You think he's throwing 6 innings?
No way. I would think he's a 4-inning guy. Maybe they piggyback him with somebody else for that first start. But it's going to be weird like that. I think that's probably what it looks like. And it's not something that, honestly, even till right now, I even kind of contemplated. We just go, oh, yeah, Ohtani at some point is coming back. But how? How is he making these rehab starts? How is this working? So keep an eye on that, too, because the last thing you want, too, is an injury when he's coming back from the pitching that affects his hitting. And you also don't want him, I think, losing that hitting edge that he showed you last year. We saw the best version ever of Shohei Ohtani as the hitter. As he's trying to work his way back from the pitching, is it too much for him? I don't know. I mean, he's such a special talent. He's the unicorn. He is all world, the greatest player to ever play the game. And if you don't think so, then you ain't paying attention. But certainly a peculiar set of circumstances for the Ohtani return. So we'll keep an eye on it as we do every week. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Matt and our incredible team, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy your Sunday.